Hey everyone, it's Angie with Flippin' Fanchers. Now that the room is cleared out, we have a few big projects that we need to clear out from the shop, so we'll let the fun begin.
Lovely starshine lights my way to bed. Magic rainbows glisten in my head. Just like a child I live in Wonderland.
This is our first project that we'll be working on. It's a 9-foot church pew, and we need to sand that down. I'll show you the sandpaper that we use and what we use for that in a minute. As you can see, the end has a side missing, so you could see this side. The other side is missing. They did, whenever we bought this, they gave us one of the sides, but it was backwards. So I'll show you that sometime whenever we're working on it. We have to completely refabricate it and make a groove to make a side that will match that. So you'll see that later, but for now I'm just going to sand all of this down. Okay, for the sanding I will be using my DeWalt sander, orbital sander, and I'll put a materials list in the blog post when I get done with it, and maybe in the descriptions down below. I'll also be using this 80 grit sandpaper on it. It's pretty coarse, as you can see, and it'll get a lot of this off. Just so you know, I'm not going to sand all of this to the bare wood. I'm just trying to sand, because I am going to be painting it. So I'm just going to sand down just enough to make it coarse where I can paint it and the paint will stick to it. Okay, I've decided that the 80 grit sandpaper wasn't getting the job done. So I went ahead and I'm using the 60 grit sandpaper. It's a little coarser, so. Okay, while I was sanding, I did notice this long crack in the wood right here. So that's not good. So what we'll do is put some glue in that, maybe some Gorilla Glue, and let that sit for a day or so after I get it all sanded. That way that will hold strong for people to sit on. As you can see, the glue foamed up pretty good, so we'll be taking these straps off and sanding down that glue and make it good as new. Okay, so I'm also going to be taking off the backs here that had songbooks in them. So you see them closer. Whenever I put them when I put the bench in the house, the church pew, then you wouldn't be able to see the back here. So I'm going to try to shorten them and put them on the sides of the bench. That way you can use them as magazine holders or a place for your remote. I will be removing these with a cordless drill too. So I'm going to be doing that right now. Okay, we have it cleaned. We have the back off where I'm going to put the magazine racks. You know, we took the backs off. We cleaned it really well, with pressure washed it. As you can see, some of the edges are still a little bit rough, so I will be sanding a little bit more, not too much, just enough where I can put some paint on it. And I'll show you the front here. So we will be doing the sanding, getting that done this week. as you can see, we got most of the sanding part done. We had just a few little spots to go. We have to reconstruct the one of the legs. So that will probably be on next week's project. So there will be probably about 3 parts, hopefully only 3 parts to this church pew. It's huge, so it's a huge project. So hopefully there'll only be 3 parts to it. And so the first part is the sanding. So like I said, we have that mostly done. We've got it washed up really well. And like I said, it's very important that you wash anything, you know, that you get flea markets or off the internet. Somebody, because they might have been sitting in a barn for a long time. So very important you wash them very well, so you don't get all that dust in your lungs. But we got it all washed, sanded down pretty good. And next week tune in, because we will be talking about how we reconstructed the leg, so one of the sides of the church pew. So because when we bought it, it was the wrong side of the leg, so we need to router out a part to put it off the end. So tune in next week for that. So thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe down below. Hit that subscribe button and the bell to get notified when we get another video next week. And then, like I said, it'll be a 3-part process, so definitely stay tuned. And thanks for watching. Bye.